And now, let's go to the ring. And here's your co-host. Hey, it's Conrad Thompson.
Hey, it's Conrad Thompson, and you're listening to What Happened When? The voice of your childhood, Tony Schiavone. Tony, what's going on, man? How are you?
I am the best I've ever been in my life.
Really?
No, but thanks for asking.
Well, you know what? I had a feeling. What we're most interested in today, though, Tony, is how is Lois, and specifically, how is Tony's mom?
That's one of the reasons I'm not doing 100%, and that is that she had this shoulder surgery,
right.
and then she gets one every year, a summer cold.
Oh,
you get summer colds? You ever gotten one?
Yeah,
of those?
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So she's she tested negative, but as far as COVID is concerned, and but she's just congested and she's running a low grade fever, and then she's got the arm in a sling, and so
no fun.
No, it's not fun. It's not fun at all. But then I look and I'm thinking, you know what? We are both getting up there.
Yeah.
And maybe this is what I'm destined to do the rest of my life. It's have to help her around with her health. So
Well, that's sweet of you, Tony. Everybody needs a Tony in their life, and unfortunately, there's not enough of you to go around. There is, thanks to Blue Chew. Just kidding. How's she doing shoulder wise, though? I mean, is her arm feeling better? Is she starting to feel?
She's never had that terrible pain that I thought she would have. Her arm, and of course now she's no longer on Percocet and OxyContin. She's no longer on that. I had her on both. She's on Tramadol.
Oh, okay.
Which is really it's not either one of those.
Much less threatening, much less.
Yeah.
Blah, 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 blah.
But she's never had the real pain that she had before her shoulder hurt.
Right.
That was the real pain. So I think she's gonna be okay. I think she's gonna be fine. Get over the cold, and maybe we can go back out and start doing some things. I had a chance to go to the Jacksonville Jaguars pregame or preseason game, and a bunch of AEW people are going to be there, and we're going to be there, and wanted me to go, and I couldn't do it. I couldn't say, "Hey, sweetheart, how you doing? Oh, you sick? Okay, I'm going to go to a football game."
Right.
I couldn't do anything like that. So, but other than that, life is good, man. Life is great. Enjoying my job, enjoying my new responsibilities with the company. They are challenging, but those are challenges that I readily accepted when I took the job. And I'm seeing a whole new part of wrestling and wrestlers that I didn't see before. So
mostly fun.
Yeah, I think so.
Good.
Yeah, there's some challenges, as you know, and of course the internet is going crazy about
this or that or whatever.
This or that, and I'm not going to get into it because I want to tell you this right now: things are not as bad as bullshit people on the internet would say. Not even close to it.
It's never that way, though.
Yeah, and we've got some things in place now that I think are going to make us better than ever. So there you go. There's my AEW update. All you stooges who write your websites that no one really reads unless you put something on social media, you can close your laptops up right now and go do something else. Well, Schiavone didn't say anything this week. Click. I'm done.
Well, we're going to say a lot of things actually today, but we're going to be talking about an old school Clash of the Champions, the very last one. It's the end of an era, you might even say. This one went down in August of 1997. It's Clash 35. Meltzer would say right after it was done. Currently, we've heard no official word that the August 21st, 35th Clash in a history dating more than 9 years would be the last one. But with Nitro, the 2-hour live weekly show almost making the Clash obsolete, doing a second live show should finish the deal, because if WCW goes through with its plans of 2 Clash specials in 98, it would mean during those weeks it would have 3 nights of primetime wrestling. If it turns out the final clash, it'll probably be remembered by one of those unfortunate screwed up angles that only seems to happen at clashes. We'll talk about that later. But it is interesting to think about, what a big opportunity the clash was. And you and I've talked about this a lot. The very first one made Sting. It went head to head with WrestleMania 4, which was the crowning of the Macho Man. And Ric Flair helped make Sting on the other channel for free. All kinds of viewing records for that. And you guys were off to the races. And it became a big part of what you were doing. Almost like, and bear with me here, Tony, the WCW version of Saturday Night's Main Event. What do you think of
that? Yeah, I guess it was.
But it was a bigger channel. It was a bigger time slot. It was a bigger time, blah, 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 blah. But of course, I felt like we got better wrestling on this than we would on a Saturday Night's Main Event. Saturday Night's Main Event was certainly more pomp and circumstance. But here at the end of 97, you guys were talking a lot about, hey, is there going to be a second show? And of course, we know the answer is yes. And it's coming in January, and it's going to be Thunder. So now with 2 hours, or 3 hours rather, live on TNT for Nitro, and now 2 hours for Thunder, that gives you 5 hours of programming a week, which we knew way back in 1998 was too much, yet WWE's doing it today. Now, the difference being WWE's getting a ton of television rights. That was not necessarily the case here for WCW. So this is the last clash, man. And of all places, it's a place you and I just were very recently, the Nashville Municipal Auditorium. There's only 4,122 people there paying $75,000. And Meltzer said that was very disappointing despite heavy local promotion. And the show did a 3.64 rating, which is pretty healthy. But still, this is it for the Clash of the Champions. Kind of bittersweet, huh?
I remember thinking back then, no, it's not.
You didn't think that was the end?
No, I didn't think it was. I didn't think there was no bittersweet to me.
You were just glad it was over.
Glad it was over. Yeah. And the Clash was, again, it started during the Jim Crockett promotion era.
Yeah.
And we would name the Clash of the Champions. We would give them special names like Miami Mayhem or whatever.
Yeah.
Dixie Dynamite, some of those things. And then
Seasons beatings.
Yeah, that's right. we ceased to, boy, I think I got Lois Schiavone.
You get Lois's cold? Did you get your mom's cold?
Anyway, sorry about that. But then we stopped naming them because we didn't really give a shit about them. And they were just a pain in the ass to do. They really were.
Isn't it interesting when you stop caring about them, so do the fans?
How about that? Isn't that something?
I mean, when treated like it's a big deal, it's a big deal. When it's just another fucking wrestling show, nobody cares.
That's right.
And boys and girls, you just missed the greatest thing in the history of what happened when we took a brief time out. Bug entered the room. Tony got all excited and said, "Oh, where's the Bug? Where you been?" And a voice in the background said, "Downstairs with your mom." Lois Schiavone, still making podcast hits all these years later. And the Biggity Bug is in his home. He's ready.
Downstairs.
That's a great line. It's a great line. By the way, I should mention, I won't say any names. Someone has decided to make a variant of the now famous Lois Rules t-shirt. It's available now over at adfreecares.com. Don't forget, whenever you pick up a t-shirt from adfreecares.com, not only does it support your favorite show, because you're going to be sporting one of your favorite podcast t-shirts around, but Tony and I don't keep a single nickel. Every penny of it goes directly to St. Jude's. And right now we're happy to say that allegedly over at adfreecares.com, you'll see a shirt that says Tony's Mom Rules. Wow. Which really is an all-time great gag to me, but I can't imagine that it went over very well in your neck of the woods.
It did not.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
That's okay. That's all right. You take the good with the bad in my life.
I mean, it was funny.
Hilarious. And it's going to be hilarious for years to come. at Christmas and at Thanksgiving and at family gatherings and birthdays.
Dude, at Christmas especially, because you'll be able to give her gifts where on the little label.
Mm-hmm.
Who is it to? Tony's mom. I love it. Well, without any further ado, get your cock out. Fire it up. Clash of the Champions 35, or as they like to call it, Season 10, Episode 2 of Clash of the Champions. That's Season 10, Episode 2, Clash of the Champions 35. We're getting in our Wayback Machine to August 21st, 1997, 25 years ago, just a few days ago. Tony, I'm ready on my end. I think we have a little bit of a countdown.
A little bit of a countdown. Here we go.
You know it's all about Schiavone! Only Schiavone, baby! You know it's all about Schiavone! Yeah! Everyone give it up for Tony.
Let me tell you something, little skinny motherfucker. I will beat your ass, plus I will beat your ass in video games. I know that you're freaking lying.
Killing it!
How's it gonna feel to go back to Connecticut and tell the fuckers that an old 63-year-old man beat your ass?
This is what you're waiting for! I know you know the score! 3, 2, 1, play!
WCW presents Clash of the Champions live from Nashville, Tennessee. DDP and Lex Luger team up to form a united front against Scott Hall and Randy Savage of the NWO. Curt Hennig, still claiming to be a free agent, will hook up with Ric Flair of the Four Horsemen to battle NWO Bad Boy Syxx and Konnan. The first of 3 titles go on the line. United States title is up for grabs as Jeff Jarrett, former Horseman, takes on ex-football sensation Steve McMichael. Deborah McMichael standing by her new man, Jeff Jarrett. In wild 8-man tag action, Super Colo moving to Guerrero. Liz Mark Jr. and Hector Garza square up against Psychosis, Beyond 04, Beyond 05, and Silver King. Lucha Libre rules. Raven takes revenge on longtime friend and associate Stevie Richards in a grudge match to set the record straight. Newly crowned champion, the young lion Chris Jericho defends his Cruiserweight title against the bitter Eddie Guerrero. Former Cruiserweight champion Alex Wright goes for the gold again as Ultimo Dragon puts his TV championship belt on the line. All of this next on Clash of the Champions. And World Championship for the Big Boys play. And Super Station TBS welcome you to the Clash of the Champions. We come to you from Music City, USA.
How much do you think he spent on pyro right there, if you had to guess?
Oh my God. I don't know. I don't know what it was 5 figures.
The gate is 74,000.
Yeah. Right.
Think about that. So you spent
right.
7th on fireworks.
Mm-hmm.
Look
Yeah,
at
we
Dusty, all black, man. Johnny Cash over there.
Yeah. Wow. We actually look pretty sharp there, all 3 of us.
I was gonna say, I mean, this might be legitimately one of y'all's better looks. I guess if you know it's the Clash of the Champions, this is the funeral for the Clash. You get dressed up, right?
Right. The background looks pretty good there looks like we have looks like we're sold out.
Oh yeah, it looks full. It looks nice. What did you think of the set where you can, the announcer's desk has the crowd as the backdrop? Do you like that?
Yeah, there's a pretty good look to that.
I mean, I think it looks cool, but as a guy who's sitting in the chair, would you prefer to be ringside or
no? But I prefer to face like we're doing now. You know, we got our.
You want to face the action.
That's right.
I got you.
And we basically had our back to the action there.
But I mean, I think the old rule of thumb, at least once upon a time, was, oh, let's track this.
You have between right now and this Thursday, August 21st, the night of the Clash of the Champions on TBS from Nashville, to come forward and to talk to me and tell me what it is you want.
There you go. Let him go right through the crowd without any. Now look at Sting, buddy. Hmm. Hmm.
Well, the chant of Hogan, it's very apparent what Sting wants. And I think by this time, James J. Dillon knows as well, guys. Tonight is the deadline for Sting. I think he's already entered that deadline. I'm looking forward to seeing if tonight that match that Sting wants, that the world wants, can finally be signed, Frank.
So there you go. The idea is we're supposed to find out from Sting's mouth, what does he want? Come talk to me. Of course, as you saw, he jumped over the rail, came through the crowd, jumps over the rail, and then starts pointing to signs that say, JJ, Sting wants Hogan. And the whole crowd's chanting Hogan. So we know that's what he wants, but he's supposed to deliver a message by the end of today. And that's where Meltzer says maybe some of this stuff didn't go exactly as planned. And here he comes now. The guy I used to hate. Boy, in this era, he was the human fast forward button. He just had so much heat. I just hated him. And then I got a little older and realized, well, I was a dumbass. That was kind of his job.
Right. Exactly.
He was supposed to make me hate him, and it worked.
That was a great moment with Sting coming out, wasn't it?
It was a big moment. I mean, the whole crowd was into it. You know, this whole strong silent thing has been going on really since the prior September. So we're 11 months in to this Crow Sting angle. And it's really heating up right now. I mean, it really, when you look back at the story of WCW, it's got to be the best story of all. I know everyone gravitates to the NWO, and I get that, but the NWO never really had a clear ending. It just sort of went away. Whereas this thing with Hogan and Sting built to a head, and it took over a year to get there.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
What did we do with it?
Set all kinds of records, made a bunch of money, and then dropped the ball.
And then dropped the ball. I think it's the biggest ball drop ever.
No, the biggest ball drop ever is the invasion angle. WCW into the WWE. That's the biggest ball.
Yeah. I heard Eric say, and I heard Eric talk about when we were in Norfolk and they brought DX over.
Yeah.
That he should have opened the doors and let him in.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that have been something, calling their bluff?
Would have been unbelievable.
Yeah.
What would they have done? You got Haku on the inside.
Right. Well, not only that, it would have put a lot more eyes on our show.
Absolutely. Everyone would have changed the channel.
Right.
And that's the thing, that you guys were already winning there.
Yeah. So. Yeah, right. We got Haku there.
I'm just saying,
yeah, no, I know.
Hey, we got some visitors back here we'd like you to get rid of. No problem.
How many?
Yeah. Point to them.
Yeah.
All at the same time or one at a time? What would you prefer?
By the way, come in this room. We've got a bottle of Jack Daniels for you first. Bam.
See you later. Yeah.
Well, I can't look at Mongo today without thinking about how his health has declined and the shape that he's in. And yeah, it's a terrible story. And I don't want to dwell on it. I don't want us to,
well, let me say this. I'm putting it together. We're going to have a little thing for Mongo coming up here in a couple of weeks. It's going to be a fundraiser effort because as you and I are recording, he's back in the hospital right now. And, you know, we want to try to help as much as we can. And if
Yeah.
our silly nonsense here can help a little bit, well, count us in, by God.
Mm. Speaking of our silly nonsense,
Yeah.
This, first of all, before I get into that, this is the era where Deborah has obviously left her husband, so to speak, and gone on with Jeff. And I guess the idea was what? That she went with him because she was in love with him. I can't remember what the deal was. The reason why she turned on her husband.
I think she was trying to say that he should be a horseman and he's got something. He should be a part of the team.
Oh,
But in reality, in real life, Mongo and Deborah are separating,
right.
not doing well, got some real problems.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to make sure everybody understands. That's not to imply that there was any similarities between the whole Kevin Sullivan, Chris Benoit thing. Jeff Jarrett was not involved with Deborah at all.
Mm-hmm.
But it is an
Right.
on-screen pairing, and I guess it is sort of art imitating real life, in that Deborah and Mongo were no longer a unit, if you will.
Yeah.
Which is a shame, but it's part of life.
Mm-hmm. The Clash of the Champions continues after this time out on TBS. That's one thing that the announcer that we use, that voice, great announcer, but it just sounded so phony to me. It just
Especially
sounded
when he was doing the Lucha guys.
right.
It sounded fake as fuck. By the way,
Luke-
Valvoline's still getting their ad value all this time later.
Isn't it something?
Meltzer would say this: since he was doing the job at the end, Jarrett had almost all the offense and did a good job carrying the match. The finish would see McMichael have the sleeper on Jarrett, which was almost his first offensive move of the match. Deborah distracted the ref. Eddie Guerrero came out, and Guerrero went to hit Steve with the U.S. belt, but he moved, and Jarrett got it instead. McMichael scored the pin. After the match, Deborah went to Steve to congratulate him for winning, saying she knew he'd do it all along, to portray her as a gold digger, wanting to be with whomever held the title. But Steve walked off on her, saying it wasn't going to be so easy. 1 star.
1 star. So anyway, I was talking about, speaking of our silly shit,
Yeah.
our buddy Sam and our security guy.
Oh, yeah.
One of the great guys ever.
Absolutely.
Truly one of the greatest guys ever. When we were in Grand Rapids, I didn't realize this, but he told me this story recently. He said, I meant to tell you this story. He said, I was, he's at ringside during the matches.
All the time.
And he said, I was talking to this guy at ringside who was just a great guy. And he said, Tony, I meant to tell you this story, but I think you and Conrad should know this story, that this guy apparently got my dog's gone. Sorry.
Do we need to go look for him?
No, I sent a note to Lois.
Oh, okay.
That he's headed back down something.
He's going to check on Mom. I got it.
Yeah. So anyway, now he's looking for something to eat. This guy in Michigan got a virus in his brain and was in a coma.
Oh, damn.
Mm-hmm. And while he was in a coma, his wife played episodes of What Happened When for him.
Oh, wow.
And it helped bring him back.
Man, how fucking cool is that?
I said you should have got his name, because I would send him
Send
him
stuff.
something. Yeah. But he said, you know what, I didn't. So DM me if you're that gentleman there. And I hope whoever DMs me is really that gentleman. But that's okay. There you go. I'm multitasking here, but anyway, that's the story, and that just doesn't that make us seem like what we're doing has a lot of value to it.
Yeah. Back when you and there you go, Mongo, man, he got a big reaction there.
The first title of this man's career. How about that? Covering the shortest space of time in this professional sport of WCW Pro Wrestling. This man
has become United States Heavyweight Champion. Had to fight through adversity, seen it all coming, kept the play in front of him, went ahead and executed what needed to be done. Now, oh, look at this. Whoa, walk away from that. She was telling him, I knew that you could do it all the time. She said, I knew you could do. Start batting those eyes. He almost melted. Let's take you now to Gene Okerlund. All right, Tony, apparently we're in the middle of a little domestic spat here on the Clash of the Champions on TBS. A guy that I've talked to on numerous occasions in recent weeks. My guest at this time, please, Nashville, welcome Alex Wright.
Boy, this should be something.
By the way, we're in Nashville. I'm mentioning again.
That's what I could say years ago. Thank you, Bobby and Sissy. Alex Wright. Okay, you got the mic.
Can you loser? Shut up!
We are in America. Please speak English. I don't want to have to remind you again.
Okay, whatever. Als allererstes werde ich diesen Gürtel heute Abend für all meine deutschen Fans gewinnen.
Hey, English, my friend. I'll cut the interview.
I got something for you, Gene. You know why they call him Dragon? Because I gonna carry a drag his butt from one corner of Nashville to the other.
Wait a minute.
You get it?
You're going to drag the dragon from one end of Nashville to the other.
Yeah.
That's why Hennig Youngman is still working today, young man.
Because I'm the true champion, and everybody out here knows it. You know what they got in common out here? All those people was the ultimate loser. All you people are losers.
Thank you very much. I'm not going to continue this any longer. Ladies and gentlemen, later in this show, Alex Wright to meet the Ultimate Dragon. And stay tuned for more of the Clash here on TBS, live from Nashville.
Listen, it would be easy for us to say, boy, that was a terrible segment. And it was. However, we probably needed to cement to these fans who's a babyface and who's a heel. Because Ultimo Dragon had certainly been both.
Right.
And in Nashville, it's the type of crowd that'll just start randomly chanting USA.
Mm-hmm.
And neither one of these guys are from the USA. So I understand there's a need to establish, all right, now, y'all, this is the bad guy. But, what say you?
Yeah, what about that interview?
Yeah, just, I mean, is there anything to comment on that at all?
Yeah, Gene Okerlund's wonderful.
That's fantastic.
He can ad lib with the best. Henny, that's the reason Henny Youngman still has a job. No one knew Henny Youngman was even back in '97.
No,
so.
they didn't. But he did.
But he did, and he made it sound. It just, I don't know. It popped me. Just having Gene Okerlund.
You know, it's a good joke when you get the Tony Schiavone shoulder shake. If you get the shoulder shake, oh, look at this shit here, dinner and a movie.
TBS, the Superstation, the purveyor of the culinary arts, and of course the chef for Dinner and a Movie on TBS, my good friend Claude Mann, and the host of Dinner and a Movie joining us tonight, Paul Gilmartin. Paul, I understand you cooked a little something up. We're going to enjoy it later on.
That's right, Gene. We're very excited to be out here celebrating Dinner and Movie's third season. We're getting ready to start it. And we're all a part of the big Turner, Time Warner family, and we're very excited to be out here.
All right, now, Paul, you're excited about tomorrow night. We've got The Jerk with Steve Martin. Anything in particular that might tie in with the cuisine here tonight?
We're making big jerk chicken, Gene. You don't want to miss it. It's going to be quite an event.
I know about jerk chicken. I thank you very much. Tony, let's get back to you.
All right, Gene, thanks a lot. And while Gene is enjoying over there with Dinner and a Movie, I know you want to say something, Brain.
So, Dinner and a Movie. Did you ever enjoy any of the Dinner and a Movies?
Zero.
Did you ever watch any of them?
No.
I watched one and it was one too many. It was not a good show.
I have always been like this. And let me say this. Thank God for streaming services.
Mm-hmm.
I would never watch a movie on TV with commercial breaks.
Right.
Never. Because they always edited it down. And they would put like try to put like, I don't know, PG-13 or maybe R-rated movies on TV, which they would edit. I just think it would be to me, movies on regular TV with commercial breaks.
Suck a dick.
Yeah, thank you.
I do.
But it's also like recording, and you used to find this on Spotify. You really find it much anymore, but you would find re-recorded songs.
Right.
You know,
it's not the original. It's someone doing their impression of it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I just didn't like that. So no. And now, thanks to streaming services, you get to see the real movie. And
it's just kind of ironic considering that you have kind of been doing that your whole career, just cosplaying Jim Ross, you know?
Yeah, really. Yeah, Gordon Soley before that.
Oh, look, take a listen.
Right terms. No disqualification.
Not bad.
He's demanding a no disqualification match. And right now, Mickey J is asking Stevie Richards if that's okay with him. And Richards says, bring it on.
I never understood what kind of relationship they had.
So he's telling David Pinzer now.
Actually, no disqualification. Anything goes.
All right. There you go. And those verbal.
So here you go. It's Raven finally going to beat up his lackey dancing, Stevie Richards. They're going to go 5 minutes and 1 second. Meltzer would say Raven was announced as having had numerous foot operations to explain to him working with a built-up shoe, which looks similar to the old loaded boot gimmick, although it never came into play in this match. So they're going to do some big stuff. But Meltzer says they worked hard in their allotted time, but neither was really over. And the actual wrestling looked almost backyardish in comparison with most of the other matches on the show. 1.25 stars.
Wow.
I'm curious about your take on that, because I do get that, you know, Mongo was trained at the power plant. He doesn't know very much. He's going to let Jeff call it all. So Jeff's going to work an old school Memphis style TV match.
Yeah.
Up next is Alex Wright and Ultimo Dragon. We know those guys are world-class in-ring performers. Then Jericho and Eddie Guerrero, then the Lucha match, then Flair and Curt with Konnan and Syxx. And I mean, there's a lot of big traditional style talent. And now you've got, you know, these guys who are fresh off of ECW, and they're certainly going for like the grunge look. I mean, that's a part of Raven's persona. And you know, even Stevie, he's not wearing traditional wrestling gear. He's got cut off jeans. You might even say Daisy Dukes. I wouldn't, but some might.
Right.
And then you've got this cut off t-shirt that's airbrushed. So it feels less professional, if that's such a thing. But to me, it was just a different style. Like, because I watched ECW, I enjoyed this.
Yeah. I think the term backyardish is a bullshit term.
Yeah.
If this looks backyardish, what about some of the stuff we see today?
Right.
What would Meltzer call that? And is Meltzer a I don't want to make this show about Meltzer's opinions, but is he an aficionado on what backyard wrestling looks like?
Well, he is a tastemaker for all of pro wrestling. Yes.
Yeah. Right. So maybe I'm wrong, but no, that's very unkind. I thought these guys worked very hard. I thought they did some very good stuff. The fans reacted. That guy down the front that keeps turning around.
He loves it. He loves it.
Yeah. With the, and looking at the camera.
Doug Dillinger should have had a word with him.
Right. He looks until he's turning around again. When you like just smack him in the freaking head.
He's just excited to be on TV. This is
he's not excited to be on TV.
Oh man. You know, I loved that spot when I was a kid, the drop toe hold into the chair, but to see that Stevie didn't really take it. It really, and by the way, good for him, because that means he's a logical, level-headed human being. Like, I'm really proud of him for that.
Yeah,
but
right.
these days, motherfuckers just, okay, here we go. Wow. Right into it.
Yeah, I know. We got to cut down on that for these
no doubt. I mean,
on good.
In this era, there was a lot of guys who thought it was, you know, that's pussy shit. You don't put your hand up on a chair shot.
Mm-hmm.
Now, knowing what we know, it's like, yeah, you do. Put both hands up. Is there a pillow involved?
Yeah.
Can you just take it on the back instead?
Take
How
it
about
on,
we not?
Take it on the back.
Or don't do it. There's an
Or
idea.
don't do it. Yeah, right.
Buddy Rogers never needed a fucking chair.
Nope, sure didn't.
We can figure it out.
Speaking of Stevie Richards in a chair and unprotected headshots, wonder how JBL is doing years later.
He's
That
just fine.
I know he's doing just fine, but that had to have some sort of lasting effect on him.
Yeah.
That was the chair shot, right?
It's one of the most brutal chair shots of all time. Yeah.
Ever. Yeah.
A little Receipt Jones, as the record
Man.
would show. He gets a bad rap.
Who's
I'm not
that?
saying he wasn't ever a piece of shit bully.
Yeah.
'Cause I don't know him back then.
Yeah.
But all I can tell you is in the 5 years I've known him, he's been fucking phenomenal.
Oh, there is, we were all together one time. I don't know where it was. Maybe it was during the
Oh, we
WrestleMania
were in
week.
New York and he was fantastic, wasn't he?
Yes. Oh my God. He was so engaging
Yeah.
and intelligent and great to be with. Absolutely.
And I know anytime I say that, somebody says, well, they did so and so to such and such. Okay, I wasn't there for that. And that sucks. And I hope that didn't happen. And if
Yeah.
it was happening, I hope it stops and blah, blah, blah. All I'm
Right.
saying is when I knew the dude
Huh.
was fucking aces.
Yeah.
But nowadays you can't say that, you know.
I know, because pieces of shit online who are actually worse than him back in his worst days will make a comment.
He was
There
a
you-
bully, so let's bully him now.
Yeah,
Okay. Don't really understand that, but all
There's
right.
the DDT and the 1, 2, 3.
And by the way, it was a good looking DDT and the crowd responded to it.
Yes, the crowds been very responsive to everything, haven't they?
They have.
Yes.
Oh, now we're going to put that shit to the test with Alex Wright and Ultimo Dragon here.
And also there's a sign in the crowd that says
Raven 316.
no, I don't know if you've seen it or not. I've seen it a couple of times. Free Steve Regal.
Oh, that's right after this happened. Yeah. We talked about it briefly a couple of weeks ago. Meltzer gave us an update in the Observer.
Okay.
The update on Steven Regal is he was charged with a misdemeanor over the incident on the airplane. The belief now is that he accidentally urinated on the flight attendant, which caused them to have an emergency landing on the flight from Tokyo to Detroit in Alaska and boot Regal, Norton, and Bagwell off. He won't be deported, but he may not be allowed to fly for 1 year, which would mean WCW couldn't very well use him. So his status is very much up in the air. Pardon the pun.
Well, there you go.
And look at this, a little promo for the power plant.
The #1 wrestling facility in the world. Call now to set up a tryout at 404-351-4959.
Hey, listen, it's funny to laugh at that, but let's
Yeah.
not act like it didn't yield some real talent.
Yeah, I know, but I was just thinking how many knuckleheads flooded the line that day.
Well, and they tried to just blow them up. From what I've heard, it was, let's see if we can make these guys quit on day one.
Uh-huh.
And if they just vomit themselves to death, they probably won't be back.
Well, that's kind of old school wrestling training type thing.
Yeah.
Oh, and Jody Hamilton ran it, so he was old school, right? So
Yeah.
couldn't do that today.
Jody Hamilton, by the way, would not have won any foot races with any of those guys.
No.
Here's a little video from Japan. Here we go.
Through his dream. In Mexico, he was given the opportunity to prove himself. Along his journey, he capitalized by taking the 8 championship belts of the J Crown, unifying titles from Japan, Great Britain, and Mexico. Since his arrival in WCW, he captured the Cruiserweight title, and after splitting from Sonny Ono, he has claimed the World's TV Championship. His association with Japan, Mexico, and the U.S. caused a translation problem in his ring name.
My name in America is Ultimo Dragon.
Yes, we call him the Ultimate Dragon, the Maximum, the greatest extreme.
Ring name is Ultimo Dragon. Ultimo in Spanish means the last student, Bruce Lee.
The last student of Bruce Lee, one of the greatest martial artists ever. Lee's movie fame and fortune put him in superhero status. Emulating Lee, Dragon's lethal kicks and perfect balance have put him on the verge of stardom. He is truly the Ultimo Dragon.
By the way, that was a 10 out of 10 package. It showed a lot of value for Mike Tenay.
Mm-hmm.
Makes me miss Mike Tenay in modern wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
It was fantastic.
I was thinking the same thing, man. That was well done.
Yeah. Like you see that and you're like, okay, instead of who's this guy in the mask,
Right.
like a lot of folks are,
Yeah.
would then see that and be like, oh fuck, I'm pulling for this guy. We have a story now. We have some context.
Mhm.
I just think that's important. And man, Mike today brought it in a big way for Nitro back then.
Yeah. You know, we were talking, I wonder how much effort it took. I just saw the dinner and the movie sign as Alex was walking. How much effort it took to construct that and put all that food out there just for a little 30-second or 1 minute spot.
It was Turner's money. They just print more.
Yeah, I know. Alex can't dance, says the sign.
They put no effort into that. I mean, those weren't like big blocky letters they had to color in. They just literally scribbled with a magic marker.
That's all they did
in the crowd.
But it represents who they are, Conrad. This is what I want to say, but I'm not going to spend much time on it.
These days they would have tweeted it. Oh, did you see him getting surprised by the pyro? Oh my God, one of the great moments of the whole show. I loved it so much.
At first, I thought he got burned the way he reacted.
Folks, you got to go listen. If you haven't subscribed to the Peacock yet, you got to go do this. At the 29-minute mark, you're going to see Ultimo Dragon come in. And as he comes in, he has really some spectacular pyro behind him, but nobody bothered to tell him it was coming, I suppose, because my man jumped like he got shot. Like he was legitimately, what was that?
Oh, that was too good.
Fantastic. And the match, by the way, Meltzer kind of dug. He says the fans are really with these kicks. Doesn't the TV title have a 10-minute time limit? The crowd popped pretty big for Dragon's kick. Pretty good match. Wright got a lot of offense early, which was a surprise since he was going over clean. Dragon drop kicked Wright off the apron to the floor, but missed a pescado. He did hit the acai moonsault, which was my most favorite move to see back then, and got a near fall with a live mahistral. And the two traded several cradles and reversals until Wright got the clean pin after a German suplex, 3 1/4 stars.
Not bad. Well, one of the things it goes to show you was Alex Wright could perform.
Oh man, really a great performer.
Yeah. Just kind of really underrated in many ways.
I mean, he had a silly gimmick, but
yeah,
when it came to the in-ring stuff and just physically, he looks like a star.
And he's a trainer now, isn't he?
He is.
Yeah. Is he here in the United States?
I think he was here just for a minute, not too long ago.
Yeah, right. And he was a ruggedly handsome guy.
Man, I can't believe I forgot to tell you this.
What's that?
I got impersonated.
You got impersonated?
Yeah, man.
Okay.
I'm not going to say the names.
Okay.
But we had a guy message my dad, and it was a wrestler. It was a former wrestler behind the scenes.
Okay.
With he works with WWE now behind the scenes.
Okay.
But he's a performer. If I said his name, you would know him. And my dad tried to help him with a home loan once upon a time. So he messaged my dad one night at like 11 and said, "Hey, is this still Conrad's number?" And so my dad, who's not normally awake at that time, wakes up, sees someone asking for my number and thinks, well, it's late at night. This can't be good. So what do you know? The guy gets in touch with me and we start talking. And I'm like, well, this ain't the number I have programmed for you. And he said enough things where I was like, oh, okay, well, shit, it's really him. And then he said, hey, man, I've got to ask a favor. Can you help this guy I know at StarCast? And I said, yeah, whatever you need. Just tell me what's up. Well, he's got this sick youngin' who's been through a lot, had a bunch of surgeries and ailments and blah, blah, blah. And he just loves wrestling. And I'm like, oh yeah, no problem. Just let me know. I'll get you guys on the comp list. Let me know. I'll take care of it. And so then he puts me in touch with the guy, the father of the kid. And that guy just starts wearing my ass out. And I'm like, hey man, it's fine. You're on the list. Just show up and you'll have a bracelet and you can come to all the events. Well, he wants to know which wrestlers he can meet. Yeah, just make me a list of who he wants to meet. And, I'll try to help. Guys are usually pretty good about that. But oh yeah, freebie for a sick kid, no problem. And we're ready for that. So just let us know. And then the guy's just wearing me out all weekend. But one day he's like, hey, we're headed up there. We want to meet these wrestlers. And it's like 70 that he typed out in the list. And I'm thinking, that's going to be tough to do. Like, I don't even know time-wise if one has enough time to meet 70 wrestlers. Because like you're the only folks there.
Yeah.
Either way, we roll out the red carpet, take care of them, blah, blah, blah. I think it's all good. We get them, tickets to the wrestling show and blah, blah, blah. And fast forward now, and I get a message from another friend of mine who works in WWE. Again, a guy behind the scenes. And he says, hey, man, what time is your man supposed to be here? And I reply, question mark. He's like, don't play with me, motherfucker. What time's he coming? And I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. And he goes, you didn't ask us to set up a little meet and greet today? And I'm like, no, I didn't. I don't even know where the fuck you are.
Yeah.
And then I get a message from a higher up in the WWE, like not a podcaster, but someone who folks would know. And they're like, Conrad, you sent us an email earlier this week. And I was like, and he sent me a screen grab. And I was like, that is not my email address. I've done your loan 3 times. My email address is this. And he goes, shit. Fast forward 1 week later, someone in your organization messages me and says, hey, this seems kind of fishy. Doesn't feel like it was written by you. And I don't have you with this number. And I said, nope, that is not my number. And then fast forward this past week, I get a message because I've got a guy who helps us run the StarCast account. And I guess there's some other big convention coming. And someone has now pretended to be me there and is trying to get, hey, I got this sick kid, blah, blah, blah. The reality is I don't think there is a sick kid. And some guy has leveraged our, I don't know, heart for children and understanding that's what wrestling's all about and blah, 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 to get comped everything at StarCast. And I don't feel bad about that. I was trying to do the right thing. So, hey, buddy, you got over on me. But, dude, you got some new bracelets coming your way. You can't be emailing people across state lines impersonating me and setting up fake phone numbers and fake email addresses. And yes, I do have some goodwill in both companies, but not for your dumbass, because they all have my real cell phone and my real email. So they'll confirm. So the jig is up, motherfucker. And be on the lookout, because Dawkins has your real life info. And
does he really?
You like free stuff. You're getting some new free bracelets. Some of them a bitch.
So you know who this person is?
Yeah, hell yeah, we do.
Dad, that's the best news. Now, how does this, would you stop texting me? I'm busy.
Tell Mom we'll be right down.
Okay.
Make some meatloaf. Tell Mom we want meatloaf.
Meatloaf. Should I shout Lois meatloaf right now?
Yes, just see what happens.
No, I'm not.
She's hurting. You're being nice. Be nice.
And I gotta hang out here the rest of the day at the house.
Yeah, it's a good joke for our show, but it's a bad call for the rest of your damn day. Right.
So let me ask you this: this no good piece of shit, low life dipshit.
Yes, that's what he is. Thank you.
Okay. What does he have to do with the guy who wanted 70 different people?
That was supposed to be his kid. Like, he's got a sick kid.
Oh, so the guy that kept that asked you these 70, it's the same guy that's impersonating you.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
He did it to me. It worked. So
Okay.
then he said, I wonder if this will work on WWE. It did.
Okay.
And then he tried to work it on AEW, and somebody over there, pretty smart feller, says, I talk to Conrad all the time. I'm not, that's like the way Conrad even texts. I mean, so he screen grabs it and says, hey, this feels suspicious. Is this you? Do you have a new phone number?
Okay.
No, I don't. And then I started piecing it together, and I'm like, I'll be damned. So the guy who vouched for him originally, it wasn't really him. It was him.
Wow.
So I guess he just knew based on that guy. Oh, that's the type of guy who'd be friends with Conrad. He was right. And he said enough stuff where I was like, oh, okay, that's really him. Because he hit me with the old, because this guy who he's impersonating is a country guy.
Mm-hmm.
And if he hits you with some, man, I lost my damn phone, then you're like, passable for him. I can see that. And I'll be damned. I got hoodwinked. I got bamboozled. And the person who sniffed it out first in advance of any shenanigans was somebody on your side. And then my guy who runs my StarCast account, like, hey, man, he messaged the promoter of that other convention and he goes, hey, man, hypothetically, Conrad's never going to call and ask for anything for free.
Yeah.
But if he did, it wouldn't be from this number or this email address. It's just amazing to me that people are trying to, and this is a real sentence, we're trying to scam meet and greets. That's fucking dumb.
Well, no, that's low life is what that is.
Yeah.
I mean, that person needs to, can you
directly
imagine
off and they're gonna,
yeah. Can you imagine being that type of person? Thank God I was raised correctly.
yeah, no kidding.
Yeah.
The thing that got me though, dude, is it's like, it's for kids.
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
You're trying to take advantage of people's goodwill for children. Like, man, when I was a kid, there was nothing cooler than wrestling. And the idea that there's some special needs kid or some sick kid or whatever, you're damn right. And I didn't tell you this because it's kind of a downer, but kind of awesome at the same time. But since you shared a story, here's one. We had a kid who was like 19. He's about to go. Like his prognosis through his cancer is he's got like 6 weeks to live type deal.
Okay. All right.
And so his favorite wrestler, you know, through YouTube and all that, and the promos and the swag and all that is Ric Flair. So he wanted to meet Ric Flair. So of course we're like, yeah, no problem. We got it. So he wanted the pro photo op and we made sure he got it. And he tells us as he's getting it, that's going to be his funeral photo. Like,
yeah,
come on, man.
Kind of hits you, doesn't it?
Whatever you need, we got you.
Yeah.
But then to know that there's other people out there who are just like, oh, they'll be nice and we can take advantage. Yeah, fuck off.
Yeah. Can we get Ming to go to this person's house?
No, man. Here's the thing. I didn't really understand how serious what he did was. That kid's going to prison. Like that's a felony.
Yeah.
So good luck with your new bracelets.
I'd like to be there at the arraignment. Let me know where it is.
Can you believe they put Alex Wright over clean here?
It was actually we had a really interesting story, good story going on, but that was actually a very good match.
Oh, it was a great match. And
Yeah.
I'm just saying, given that, and maybe that's why they did it.
Right.
I was going to say, given the big promo package that we got for Ultimo Dragon, it felt like, well, he's got to win.
Right.
But maybe that's why, because now I care more about Ultimo Dragon having seen that, right?
Yeah. Yeah. The old swerve.
Yeah, maybe it's not who gets over or who goes over. Oh, by the way, here we go.
Indestructible! Order your now!
Get your WCW backpack for only $25. Just call 1-800-WCW-8661.
I mean, I kind of want one of those. Let's see if I can go to eBay and find us a WCW backpack.
Lord. I think just about everything in my house that says WCW has either been donated or given to you.
Man, just so you know, what's his name has adorned our little studio in the back of the office, and it is a Tony Schiavone garage sale back there. Here comes Eddie Guerrero looking as good as he ever looked, and check this out. Meltzer can't help himself. Isn't life amazing? Guerrero tears his pec and comes back with a much better physique than when he left. In fact, he's the most muscular he's ever been in his entire career. I hate that we're tongue in cheek shitting on guys for trying to advance their careers.
Yeah, I know.
Because here's the thing: if he was less than, Meltzer would have wrote about that too.
Yeah.
If he had lost a step physically, Meltzer would have wrote about that too. And I just think that sucks.
Yeah, I know. I wonder if Meltzer regrets being an asshole.
Here's the thing.
Because
I don't think he knew that he was, because in real life, it doesn't even cross his mind to be a dick.
No, I know, because I was getting ready to say in real life, he's really a good guy.
Fantastic.
Yes. Yeah, it just maybe he just look at how about those curved sideburns from Chris Jericho. Well, I don't know what he's going to give this match, but it has all the potential to be a phenomenal match.
He gives it 3 1/4 stars.
There you go.
The same as he did. Well, let's just recap where we are so far. Mongo and Jarrett, 1 star. Raven and Dancing Stevie Richards, 1.25 stars. Alex Wright and Ultimo Dragon, 3 1/4. And now here, Jericho and Eddie Guerrero, also 3 1/4. And Tony, at the conclusion of this match, we're going to take a little break, talk to our friends about some very important messages, if you will.
I don't know if you noticed as you're talking right there, one of our guys with a headset was collecting signs.
Probably had something on there that shouldn't have been.
Well, actually, they were putting the signs up in blocking.
The shot.
Blocking the shot. Yeah.
Who would have made the call in the truck? Or did somebody in the truck say, "Go get those fucking signs"?
No, I don't think of anybody in the truck. I think it would probably come from the top from Eric.
I got you.
You know, we pretty much don't collect signs.
No.
Now there was one guy that was talking about abortion rights with one of his signs. We collected that.
Well, why?
Why?
I mean, Punk wore an abortion rights T-shirt out there. Why can't?
He had many of these different signs, and then he said had his website.
Oh, I got you.
Yeah. Yeah.
As a rule of thumb, if I owned a wrestling company, we're not going to talk about anything like that.
No, we're not.
This is supposed to be a fun escape.
Exactly. Supposed to be a fun escape.
Yeah. I think so.
Yeah. Remind me of that Wednesdays at 6 p.m.
Hey, it's fun for us. It ain't fun for you.
Right. That's right. Listen, the reason I say that is that, you know, the hours leading up to getting to doing TV,
stressful.
It's stressful and very busy.
Yes.
On the days that I'm not at TV, I do podcasting and I work, do some work behind the scenes with the control centers and doing the watching Rampage and help, put that together. So those are stressful as well, but nothing like the 2 hours leading up to TV. Just
stressful.
It's like all hands on deck. So that's why I said that. And you know what? After it's over, there's a very satisfying feeling that you accomplished something.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So we always, regardless of if the show is good or not so good, we always have a good feeling that we accomplished something.
Who's more stressed? Who's the most stressed besides you that you're okay to mention here? On TV day, they're just stressed the fuck out. Like a guy like Raphael Morphy, he's done it all, been everywhere. Does he get stressed?
I don't know. I don't work closely with Raphael. Maybe I would say the guys in the truck, Andrew, Tim, those guys.
I say.
Because they've got to decipher all this and put it together and make sure it airs and
quickly.
They're kind of the last stop right before it goes out on the air.
Yeah.
Regardless of what we say, what we do, and what we create, and what we hope to create, and what we say is going to happen, they're the ones that put it on the air. Tim's the one that calls the shots, and Andrew's the one that says, we're going here next, we're going here next. So those guys, no question.
Man, these guys are tearing it up.
Yeah, man.
I could watch Eddie Guerrero wrestle every match from now on, and I'd be fine with it.
Yeah. By the way, when we were, I was told this. I think maybe Jeff Jones told me this. I didn't realize it. When we were in Minneapolis at the Target Center recently,
Yeah.
we stayed in the same hotel where he passed away.
Damn it.
Damn it is right.
I hate to hear that.
I hated to hear it the day of. Eddie bleeding here a little bit. Notice that?
If you're going to do something like that, you got to be able to capitalize Jericho where you can get over and put a pin on it because you got him drowsy right from the get-go.
Spin wheel kick.
You got him drowsy. How do you not love Dusty Rhodes?
Oh, wow.
Oh, that did not go according to plan.
Jericho
Nope.
tried to go up top with maybe a cross body block, and he caught his top foot on the turnbuckle pad, and he went tumbling now outside, and that's going to change things around here, guys.
Well, that happens when you take those high roads.
By the way, if you're an aspiring pro wrestler, go back and watch this at the 49-minute mark. You saw Jericho try to do something. Tony said or you said his foot slipped on the top turnbuckle. Maybe that was it. I thought he caught his knee pad.
Okay.
Either way, he ate shit and fell to the outside. And it would have been really easy for that to be an embarrassing moment. But instead, he got up, recovered nicely, and they immediately did another really cool spot. And now we've moved on like it never happened.
Yeah.
That was a real pros move right there.
Absolutely.
A relatively young Chris Jericho. I mean, let's remember this is 25 years ago. This ain't 2022 Jericho. And some of that could have been Eddie. I'm not there. Eddie may have been like, oh, he looks like shit. Suplex me to the outside.
No, that's what that is teamwork.
And they got right back on track like it never happened.
Yeah.
That was really well done.
Yeah. Hey,
I would even say he recovered and suplexed Guerrero over the top rope to the floor. So
there you go.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, as you do know, probably now that I did get to spend some time with Ricky Steamboat recently, which was really cool.
How cool is that, man? You guys had a little promotion going for HBO Max. Had Daniel Garcia and Bryan Danielson, and had the actual Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. That was cool stuff, man.
Yeah, it was great. It was great reconnecting with Ricky. Just he and I have had some long talks on the phone and had some long talks in person, which is really great to catch up with him. And he asked me, and this is a story that I've never told, but I think it's worth telling right now. Obviously, I know we're going to go to a break. I'll tell it after
your story. No, we'll do it after the break.
Okay.
I mean, we'll do the break later. But you're on a roll, and we see Eddie Guerrero here after Chris Jericho has pinned him. He just draped the Cruiserweight title over his ribs and then climbed up top and did a frog splash on top of it. Jericho's hurting for certain. Nice showing here. Even though Eddie doesn't get the win, he certainly, quote unquote, got his heat back.
Got his heat back, and it was a pretty darn good finish. Little roll up, as we said. And Valvoline, people who know use Valvoline.
Not a sponsor of our program, so fuck them. Now, anyway, you had a great conversation. I need like that. You had a good conversation with Ricky the Dragon Steamboat.
Yes, I did. So he asked, we were talking about the first thing I ever did in wrestling. And I said, well, I wasn't in wrestling. I said, but back in 1978, I was in college and I was working for a radio station, WTON in Stanton, which is where I got my first job out of college. And I said, the wrestling was at the Augusta Expo, and the guy, one of our program directors said, hey, you're a wrestling fan, aren't you? I went, yeah. He said, well, do you plan to go to the wrestling show? I went, yeah. He said, why don't you try to do an interview with somebody? I said, okay. I interviewed Ricky Steamboat.
Really?
Yeah. And it was for the radio station. I didn't work in wrestling, but that was my first time really interviewing a wrestler. So I told him that story.
What did he think?
He said, are you serious? I said, yeah. I said, that's it. I said, 1978. He said, wow, man. He said, we were doing a lot of work back then, a lot of different towns, a lot of different things going on. I said, yeah, you really were. I said, I know you don't remember it. He said, no, I don't. He said, but I remember going to spot shows up in Virginia. I said, yep, that's what I said. So my first thing that I ever did, first wrestling interview I ever did on TV was Ric Flair. But my unofficial one was an employee of a radio station interviewing Ricky Steamboat in 1978. And that night, Pete Apostolou, who was the promoter for Jim Crockett Promotions in the Shenandoah Valley, Pete Apostolou and I were talking, and he was very good to me. He allowed me in the back, and I got to, I mean, he didn't let me back in the dressing room, but he brought Steamboat out, and we were watching matches. He let me stand back there watching matches with him from afar. And I said, you know what? I love pro wrestling. Tell me how I can get into it. You know, sounded like probably hundreds of people that you hear now, right?
Yeah.
And he kind of like says, well, you just keep doing what you're doing, being an announcer. You know, you never know, something may break. There's nothing I can tell you that's going to get you into wrestling. And damn it, it all worked out, didn't it?
Yeah, it did. Yeah, it did.
And I'm thinking about standing back there, interviewing Steamboat, talking to Pete Apostolou, thinking, I don't want to use this term, but look at me now.
Yeah.
But just amazing. And I think about a lot of kids out there, a lot of young men, young women who want to get into the wrestling business. And they ask me, how do I get into wrestling? And it's a very difficult thing to answer.
Yeah,
it really is. And the only thing I can say to them is this: just try to find an independent promotion, work for them. You're probably going to have to work for free. And that's okay, because I worked for free a lot. I mean, the time that I took that night driving to the Augusta Expo from where I lived in Craigsville, and I was going to college at the time. I probably hitchhiked home that night to get my mom's car to drive to wrestling. I didn't get paid for that.
Right.
We spent money on gas or whatever. I probably paid for my own ticket to get in. So I'm saying that the best thing I can tell you, if you want to get into wrestling, is try the independent circuit. And you probably have to work for free, but that's okay if you got the desire and you got the work ethic, and something may break for you. You never know.
I mean, let me say this too. There's not a college of pro wrestling.
No.
And so if you were going to college, would you expect to get paid to go to college?
No.
No, in fact, you're paying to go.
Right.
And so if you're a pro wrestler, guess what? You're going to have to pay someone to train you.
That's right.
If you don't necessarily want to be a pro wrestler, but you want to be involved in the business, you're going to have to bring value.
Yeah.
And when you find a way, and this isn't just for wrestling, this is for any industry. When you find a way to bring value, people will find a spot for you.
Right.
But if you take the approach to life of, hey, give me a raise and I'll start showing up on time.
Oh yeah.
Hey, give me make me the manager and I'll start going the extra mile.
Mm-hmm.
That's not going to work.
Nope.
You've got to bring value. And if you lead all the relationships in your life with, hey, I brought some value here, then before you know it, you'll be irreplaceable and they got to have you. And oh, by the way, now you're going to get paid probably more than you imagined the first time because you approached it from a value first. I mean, that's just the key to life to me.
Yeah.
Find a way to bring value. And if you're not sure if you are, you're not.
It goes
to let's have a job.
It goes back to my favorite quote. I think I've told you this quote here before. My favorite quote of all time is from Albert Einstein. And it says, try not to be a man of success. Try to be a man of value.
Yeah.
It's one of the great quotes of all time.
Agree.
And yeah, nothing beats a work ethic. Don't give a shit. And the work ethic in this country has declined. Holy shit. Has declined. And you know what? That's good for those of us who have a work ethic.
Great for me and you, Bubba.
Yeah, you're not kidding.
I mean, as we're recording this, it's 7 a.m. on a weekend.
There you go.
Just saying.
Yeah.
Neither one of us have to do this. This isn't something that if you and I stop doing the podcast tomorrow, it doesn't affect our lives. Really.
That's right. That's right.
But we do it because we love it and because we enjoy it and because we like the relationship we've built with the audience. And along the way, sure, we make a couple of bucks, but that's never been the primary motivator for me to do podcasts. And certainly at this point in your life will be easier without podcasts, but we're having too much fun. And so are these guys right now. We got Psychosis, Volano number 4 and 5 teaming with Silver King to take on Juventud, Hector Garza, Lismark Jr., and Super Callow. And unfortunately, even an 8-man match here only gets 4 minutes and 52 seconds.
They are pulling out all the stops.
Yes, they are.
And look at Juventud. And the fans really have not been reacting to most of the stuff in the ring, but they're reacting to this stunt show we're seeing right now.
Yeah, I mean, it's one tope suicida after another. By the way, I want to give a shout out. I don't even know that. Oh, look at this corkscrew. Hector was known for this. That's the big spot of the day right there.
That's a tornillo. Thank you very much.
Okay. Cool.
Today called it a corkscrew plancha, and Excalibur calls it a tornillo.
Well, that's probably the Spanish version.
Probably.
Anyway, I wanted to mention something that maybe you didn't even know. Do you know about Triple Mania in October?
Triple Mania? I do not.
Triple Mania 30. It's like the AAA version of WrestleMania, and it's in Mexico City. And I just saw the other day, Volano number 4, who was in this match, who is now a bona fide legend. He's going to be taking on your man, Pentagon Jr., in a mask versus mask match.
Wow.
So the masks are on the line. So we might see Pentagon Jr. unmasked by mid-October. And if not, it'll be Volano number 4.
Wow.
That's pretty cool to hear about guys like that having mask matches. Because, I mean, listen, I'm admittedly not like the world's foremost expert on Lucha Libre, but I know mask matches are a big fucking deal. A lot bigger deal than this stupid shit.
Yeah, where I can see behind me, there's a sign. And let me ask you, what are you cooking up there? Is that horse shit? Huh? Is that, okay. So let me ask you about dinner and movie. You guys have dinner and then you watch a movie and then you shit all this stuff out later on. Right over there, we got X-Lax. That's right, X-Lax. And we're going to put in it. Well, let me read my card here. Whoa, I'm going to stick something in here and I'm going to stick something in here. We got Macho Mayo, Macho Nachos, and we've got Macho Lettuce. Okay, very cool. And just to make things even more spectacular, we've got Macho Bullshit. That's right. We're all going to eat Macho Bullshit. Look at that right there. What is that he's got?
He's got his own little flag here.
Yeah, no. That's
Just for Diamond Dallas.
What are we, gentlemen here, in all due respect, your guests on this program, and we represent World Championship Wrestling. It's a great organization, and this is kind of a slap in the face.
Well, Gene, I guess you've guessed there's a little theme here, and that might be N.
You gotta be kidding me! Where do these clowns come on? Come out here and he's poking us.
Woo.
Hey, we're looking for trouble.
Dinner and a movie turned NW. Oh, yeah.
Something for you, Gene, but we couldn't find any fresh weasel. I'm out of here. That's it for me.
You're not going anywhere.
Somebody threw something.
This is a big time NWO birthday party, Hollywood style. This brother and that brother have already passed the test, and they're NWO through and through for life. Got it?
You think Wikipedia lists the Dinner and a Movie crew as official members of the NWO?
No.
Big party for the NWO means, Flynn, and I know you're glad of that, aren't you, brother?
I couldn't be any happier.
Hollywood Hoagie couldn't be here tonight because he's in Montreal doing a Hollywood movie.
In Montreal.
So I brought my brother some dinner and a movie.
That's a great line, is it not?
Yeah.
A Hollywood movie in Montreal.
And even Gene said, in Montreal.
Oh, this is to put the sizzle on the party. Happy birthday, NWO. Yeah.
I understand that you were a guest on Dinner and a Movie.
Roll it, brother.
Recently.
It's documented. Check it out.
No, it's a new one.
Man, what a fucking piece of business you guys gave dinner and the movie. Y'all were all hands on deck trying to promote this piece of shit.
I just looked up. A Dinner and the Movie ran from 2011 to 2011.
Outlasted WCW. I'll be damned.
It did. And Paul Gilmartin was a stand-up comedian, or is a stand-up comedian, I guess.
By the way, I think when this is over is when we should take our first break. I mean, it feels like we've been in a 7-minute break so far, but
The fans and millions across the country who are watching.
a random hand slides in to light the candles on top of it. Okay.
To have the guts to come on this program and do this to me and do this to me.
Oh, I'm insulted, Gene. You've hurt my feelings.
Jerk your own chicken.
He just headbutted Gene.
Jerk your own chicken.
I'm in Dallas. You afraid to show his face? Get a movie talk for. I don't see him around here. I don't think he's around the parade.
They didn't call him a creeper.
Is he?
Oh, man, I'm going to tell you what.
No, he's afraid. I didn't think he was going to come out. Because he's Diamond Dallas. Anyway. That's what he's saying.
There's a cake.
He's gonna fuck that cake up because it ain't gluten free, bro. Yo, was this non-GMO?
Somebody's gonna get a cake in the face. It's wrestling. Oh shit! Damn it! Well, there we go.
Welcome to Madness and a Movie. Have a little cake. And this is why the big boys play here. I like it. Back with more. Live on the close. It's time.
So Tony, let's go ahead and hit it at 155. 105.55. Bam, there we are. And ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a time out right now to talk to you about something that poor fella has learned all too well, the importance of sleep. He's asleep thanks to the diamond cutter, but you might not have DDP hanging around your house. And if you do, well, life's probably not going according to plan. He normally shows up in your house when things are circling the drain. And you can keep that from happening by getting a chilly sleep. Lord knows I did. And I'm sleeping better than ever. Tony, as we're recording this, I just am fresh off of a little vacay to the beach. I took the chilly sleep with me. Best sleep of my life everywhere I go. And that's always a struggle when you're in an Airbnb or you're at a friend's house or you're in a hotel. Hey, is this the right kind of pillow? Is this the right kind of mattress? What's most important for me is it the right kind of temperature? And thanks to Chili Sleep, it is. Let me explain. Chili Sleep makes customizable climate-controlled sleep solutions that help you improve your entire well-being. Chili Sleep makes the Uller, that's what I've got, and the Cube Sleep System. Either way, we're talking hydro-powered, temperature-controlled mattress toppers. They fit over your existing mattress to provide you your ideal sleep temperature. These luxury mattress pads keep your bed at the perfect temperature for deep sleep, whether you sleep hot or cold. These systems are designed to help you fall asleep, stay asleep, and give you the confidence and energy to power through your day. And for an extra layer of comfort, they also make the Chili Blanket, the only weighted blanket that can also be paired with a control unit for the ultimate sweat-free sleep. And Tony, I think we've got a special deal right now.
Head over to chilisleep.com/WHW to learn more and save 30% off the purchase of any new Cube or Uller sleep system. The offer is available exclusively for What Happened When listeners and only for a limited time. That's Chili, CHILI, sleep.com/WHW. Take advantage of our exclusive discount and wake up refreshed every day.
And with that note, let's get back to it. I'm at 105.55 here on Peacock, Season 10, Episode 2, Clash of the Champions 35. In 3, 2, 1, play.
Podcast Ric Flair, Curt Hennig in tag team action. Stay with us on the Clash.
Promotional consideration paid for by the following.
That's where we should have did our commercial. We're going to get our shit together one day. You know what? Because we're not playing this Big Red or whatever this is. Oh, yeah. It's a Slim Jim. By the way, I had one over the weekend. Hadn't had one of those in a while. And I found the Savage AF one thinking it was the spicy one. It wasn't that spicy. Thought I was going to light my ass up. I remember eating one way back when, and it did not.
You know what? Guys from the South, come on.
What?
We've had spicy.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. So
maybe that is their spicy. Like maybe my mom thought it was spicy, but I didn't think it was spicy.
Yeah, right. You know, back when I was younger,
yeah.
God, I loved spicy food.
What changed?
My whole system.
Oh, your body doesn't like it as much.
Oh, yeah, right, exactly. Oh, here we go. I want to hear this.
Oh, sure.
Monday Nitro is coming live from the Carolina Coliseum. I've enjoyed the hospitality of the fans in Columbia's 5 Points area. In fact, the fans here at the Dance Factory tell me the people throughout the Palmetto State are going to pour into Columbia for our upcoming Monday Nitro. Now, make sure you are part of our next Nitro. Just drop by the Carolina Coliseum box office or your nearest ticket agency. And guys, when you get to Columbia, make sure you stop by Columbia's beautiful botanical gardens. It's been named one of the top 15 gardens in the entire country. And I hear they got that award when the gardeners are finally able to get rid of that annoying, foul-smelling weasel weed. And that's your 1-800-COLLECT road report from Columbia, South Carolina. I'm Lee Marshall for 1-800-COLLECT.
He should be in the ground. 6 feet. I'll tell you what, the party's already started, guys.
God.
Wow, it really has been.
Lee wrote those, and he was so good at it. And he always ended up with a weasel jab.
Got to do that.
It was always great. I loved him. Okay, thank you.
Here comes Syxx and Konnan, probably the two coolest members of the NWO.
Yeah.
They probably knew where the good weed was.
I'm sure.
They're going to be taking on Ric Flair and Curt Hennig.
You don't have to look too far for good weed now anymore, do you?
I don't know. I'm not a weed smoker.
Well, what I'm saying is that it's legal in many states, and
got it.
Just amazing how things have changed. Now, in the next 20 years, thank God I won't be around, but in the next 20 years, I bet you every state. Okay, I bet you. Hello there, young man.
Why are you saying thank God I won't be around? I hope you're around.
No, I don't want to be around in 20 years.
Yes, please.
No, society's going to be. In the next 20 years, your podcast is going to have to go to the government, and the government's going to have to approve it before it goes out.
Well, in the meantime, here's what I want to do. Please don't die. Please don't die. My chant for you.
Wow, look at this, man. This is a hell of a team.
Flair Dude, this could have been, they crushed this thing just a few weeks after this.
Yeah.
When they do Fall Brawl 97 in Winston-Salem, it's the end of the Horseman forever when Curt turns and favors the NWO instead. But they're telling a nice story here. It's just, I don't know, man. It's a shame that it wound up the way it did.
The Fall Brawl that's coming up is the one that got 5 stars, right?
No,
it's not. Okay,
no, you're thinking of the one in '92 with Pillman and Sting Squadron and all that. The one that's coming up is the Horseman versus the NWO, and they slam Flair's head in the cage. And
that's right.
Had plastic surgery after.
Right.
And I think that robe right there is the one that Hennig cut the sleeves off of. And as Rick says, they never paid him for it. I think your old pal Big Show still has one of the sleeves. Not the actual robe, but one of the sleeves. That's the rumor and innuendo.
Okay, I'll ask him next time I see him.
Tracking
on in this program, as well as Konnan and Savage against a very pumped up Diamond Dallas Page, as we've seen. Paul Gilmartin did in a movie now, it's firsthand. Yeah. And the total package Lex Luger. Well, I think it's safe to say.
Man, Konnan knows how to get these guys fired up, does he not?
Yeah, man. Konnan knew what he was doing, man.
Still does.
Yeah.
It's amazing that he's like what he's been able to do.
Yeah.
Wrestling, like just the connections he's been able to make. I mean, I saw someone the other day refer to him as the consigliere of all the Lucha Libre talent. And I was like, that kind of explains it.
Sure does.
Because they know, hey man, he's not going to fuck you around. He's going to help look out for you.
Sure.
Which is awesome.
Yeah, I got a lot of time for him. Always did. I don't necessarily agree with him putting disco on his podcast or especially Adam DeMoy. But I guess you think about it, if you put two idiots on your podcast, it makes you look smarter, right?
That's why I got you into podcasting, you know.
But I knew that was, man, I threw that softball as the softball is going in the air.
You're like, it's coming back. I know it's coming.
A line drive, buddy. Shing.
As you're setting it up, I'm thinking, I hope he does it to me so I don't have to do it to him. But when you didn't, sorry, Val.
That's all right. You've never seen a line that you haven't taken.
Well, that's why we do this, you know?
Right. And to the point to where you have opened my eyes to many lines in my life that I haven't taken because I wanted to have peace at the house.
Yeah.
But the mother line from the anesthesiologist, I just had to take and run with it. There was no way.
Yeah, I agree.
It's like I probably would have gotten into heaven. I probably would have gotten to the pearly gates and God would have said, do you remember? Yes, I do. And you didn't say anything? You're going to hell. So I had to take that line. There's been a couple lines I had to take.
Tremendous.
Hey, so fans really popped on that back body drop.
Loved it.
Yep. Yeah, Flair was tremendous, but man, Syxx or X-Pac or whatever you want to call him, man, 1, 2, 3 kid, he could do some bumping, couldn't he?
No doubt.
Wow.
An amazing performer.
He was.
I mean, he's flying all over for these guys.
Yes, look at this.
I kind of got the vibe, you know, based on reading the Observer back then. I never talked to Rick about it, but that he didn't think that, you know, Waltman was a big enough star to be in this spot. But man, that guy knew how to fucking wrestle, dude.
Yeah. Do a time check for me.
Yeah, I'm at 113, 44, 45, 46, 47. And where are you?
Well, I was at 53, but I think we're caught up now.
Yeah, I'm at 113, 53 now. 56,
okay.
57.
Yep, that's where I am. We're caught up.
I think after this match, too, when they go to commercial, we should probably take a commercial because we've only got one match left.
Okay.
Randy Savage and Scott Hall in the main event, taking on Lex Luger and Diamond Dallas Page. And before the match, Kevin Nash even says it's a WCW tag team title match because I'm giving Randy Savage the right to defend my title. So how about that shit?
Wow. Also, you see this crowd we have here at the Nashville Municipal Auditorium?
Yep.
The size of this crowd?
Yep.
Is the size of the people we had backstage for Ric Flair's final match after the show. My God, it was like a freaking Hollywood premiere.
It was.
Everybody who was anybody
was back there. We actually outdrew this show.
Did you? Doesn't surprise me.
Yeah.
Doesn't surprise me. Those were great fans that night.
Man, they were excited.
They knew why they were there.
Yes.
And they were there for Ric Flair, but they appreciated all the other matches. It was just great. Look at that fisherman suplex, or Northern Lights, I guess is what it is. I don't know what it is. What is it? Fisherman's Northern Lights.
Fisherman's, you had it.
Yeah, I wish Excalibur was here.
Curt Hennig with this fisherman suplex scores a win as he and Ric Flair dispose of Konnan and Syxx of the NWO. And don't forget, earlier in the evening.
By the way, I want to mention Rick Martel was in the office doing an interview. This is in the Observer. Martel's original plan was to come in as a tag team with Winnipeg wrestler Don Callis, a Howard Stern lookalike who does really good interviews. WCW told Martel they weren't interested in adding any tag teams. People were saying Martel, 41, was in excellent condition. Got to get a little promo here with Mean Gene.
To the champions, Curt Hennig. Curt Hennig, if I may have your attention, you promised me on Monday night, this past Monday night on Nitro, that you would give us an answer. Are you a horseman or not? No. What do you mean, no? No, you're not going to tell me you're... No, wait. Tell him
Are you a horseman? Woo! Or not?
What about it? No. No, you're not going to tell us? Or no, you're not a horseman? That's right. Well, wait a minute. That's right. What is this? Apparently we're not going to get anything. As Curt Hennig leaves, he's followed by the Nature Boy, Ric Flair. And we go another Thursday night, Tony, with no answer regarding the future of Curt Hennig. Great match. Thanks a lot, Gene. Yes, Flair said, yeah, great match.
When we get to 17:05, let's go ahead and take our time out. There it is. Ladies and gentlemen, we wanted to talk to you a little bit about something that has really been helpful to Lois, Schiavone, and my household. We haven't talked about it, but earlier this summer when we were visiting my brother-in-law and his lovely lake home and his fantastic new boat, my wife managed to jack up that knee a little bit. And she had a great time and thought she could just shake it off. But now with some, other opportunities, she's had a chance to really take a look and realizes, hey man, I'm kind of hurting. So she started to put feels as a regular part of her routine to help feel better, and it's working. But now they've got a new product that really works for guys like Tony and I who are burning the midnight oil, right? If you've ever been affected by that mid-afternoon slump, maybe you think, I don't really want to grab another cup of coffee at 2 p.m. But maybe you need a cleaner energy boost to help with whatever your workload is or your schoolwork. If you're trying to, burn it at both ends, let me recommend something that I think is better than all the other energy boosters. If you're struggling with focus or productivity, I'm talking about Feel's brand new Focus Melts. It's unlike anything I've ever heard of, but I'm sold. Focus Melts are fast-acting, long-lasting, and caffeine-free tablets that help you say goodbye to procrastination and reclaim your day. These fast-acting tablets dissolve in moments, leaving you with improved focus in minutes. Plus, they taste great, and they can also help reduce your cravings for snacks. So whenever you need a boost of focus, instead of going for that second or third coffee, just pop one tablet. Focus Melts are powered by something that's naturally occurring as a compound and gives you the laser focus you expect from caffeine and other stimulants, but without the crash. You see, Feels has already helped more than 10,000, actually more than 100,000 people take back control and feel better than ever through their premium wellness products. My wife and Lois amongst them. They've also got real human support, and they've got a membership program with free delivery straight to your home. Isn't that right, Tony?
Yes, it's time to say no to sluggish days and restless nights with Feels Focus Melts. And I know you're out there saying, I bet you Schiavone's going to say that he takes them. Damn right I do. There's a little container of Feels Focus Melts that's in my backpack right now, and I use them during the day of working wrestling and AEW, and it's been wonderful. It really has. They taste great. They're very, very small. Just pop one in, and it helps. And it also reduces your snack cravings as well, which is for a fat ass like me is really good. So if you want to become a member today, you can, and save 50% off your first order of Focus Melts and get free shipping by going to feels.com/WHW and use code WHW at checkout. Again, that's feels.com/WHW and use WHW to become a member today. As a member, you'll save money on every order. You can easily pause, swap, or cancel anytime. Say goodbye to procrastination, reclaim your day, and start feeling better with Feels.
I love it. You will too. Check it out. You'll be glad you did. And now we're back to season 10, episode 2 of Clash of the Champions, Clash of the Champions 35.
And give us our time, Cody.
I'm at 1:17:05. That's 1:17:05. And 3, 2, 1, play.
This portion of WCW's Clash of the Champions is brought to you by
Feels, motherfucker. Get you some. And we're back here. Here we go. Your boy, but I know that means you don't want to track it, which I totally understand.
Yeah.
Anytime I say that, by now you know it means Michael Buffer's around.
Yeah. Nothing against Michael. Just don't need the headaches.
Meltzer would say Kevin Green's pro wrestling career looks to be over after only 3 matches, as the new 6-year, $13 million contract he signed on August 26th with the 49ers includes a clause that restricts him from doing any pro wrestling until 2002. So that's the end of that. I also wanted to mention there's some other news here about the Thursday show.
Oh, okay.
Meetings were held this week regarding the new TBS Thursday Night Live show. If you hear any rumors about what it'll be, they're just rumors because literally nothing has been decided upon. The only thing that was made clear is that the show has to be as good as Nitro because TBS, with all the money they're paying for the show, won't settle for a second-rate Nitro. Talks about adding stars from the past and using the Thursday show to focus on the Guerrero, Malenko, Benoit types and give them more time to have better matches, or even using ex-UFC fighters to give it more of a shooting aura.
Oh my God.
Based on the things at the meeting and what Bischoff is saying on TV, it seems like his idea is to make Nitro a 2-hour NWO show and the new unnamed AWCW show, and to make it seem more like a promotional war between the two. For reasons alluded to earlier, that's a risky proposition on Mondays.
Yeah.
And I would agree. Of course, we know the NWO Nitro thing never really came to fruition. Probably better for it. Sold out seemed like a good idea until you actually did it. And then you're like, that doesn't really work.
Yeah.
So I do think there could have been something to making the Thunder show. I'm not going to say like a developmental show, but more of the quote unquote work rate show. Let's showcase some of these guys. Not unlike what NXT was a few years ago. I mean, if it's not that long ago, people talked about NXT as if, it was the greatest wrestling in the world. And then, of course, AEW came around and people quit being as excited about those takeovers. And a lot of those stars that you saw at the NXT shows went to the main roster, and their presentation there was just not in line with what you had seen in NXT. And, it was just basically bungled. But it could have been cool. Because in this era, just take a look at the Rey Mysterios, the Juventudes, the Eddie Guerreros, the Dean Malenkos, the Chris Jerichos, the Chris Benoits.
Making it a cruiserweight thing? Is that what you're saying?
Making it what AEW is now. One badass match after another.
Right.
And I'm not saying that in an ugly way. I'm just saying let the heavyweight players keep doing what they've been doing on Nitro.
Right.
But let's and that could be heavy story. And that's not to say there wouldn't be stories on the Thursday show, but man, how many fucking balloons are there? They dropped them over the entrance. Now they're dropping them from the ceiling. All I could think, Tony, is how much money that costs. Like at the municipal auditorium is expensive. There's not like walkways up there. It's not easily accessible. You got to bring in equipment to get that shit up there.
Yeah.
I'm not exaggerating. They spent $10,000 on balloons here.
Yeah.
I'd be surprised if it was any less.
Yeah.
Think about that. Rubber filled with air, 10 grand.
I know. Every time I see balloons now.
Yeah.
Every time. I'll think back. I'll always remember. Don't know when it was. I don't know what it was, but we were in Jacksonville at Daly's place, and we dropped balloons, and it was a windy day.
And they just blew right out.
They blew right out.
I remember that show.
Oh man. Oh, that was so fucking hilarious. Now, in the grand scheme of things, no, because we spent money.
Yes.
And we wanted to make it look good. But the fact that I'm looking up and all those balloons are going out the door.
It's hilarious.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I too, like you said, feel bad knowing that somebody spent a bunch of money.
Yeah.
Like, dude, I had no idea how much shit like that costs.
Yeah.
So, like, for Ric Flair's last match, I'm like, hey, man, maybe we should have some confetti at the end.
Mm-hmm.
Buddy, that was thousands of dollars.
Oh, I'm sure.
And I'm like, are little bitty cut up sheets of paper?
Yeah.
I'm going to get Silva's fucking kids out there.
Just
like, I could, no.
Yeah.
But, in the end, you make a call.
Right.
Well, it's got to look a certain way. All righty. But even still, it just blows me away. And now you see the pyro here, and I'm thinking, damn, their gate was $75,000. How'd they pay for all this?
No, the pyro.
They didn't. They lost money on this.
Lost big money on this show.
Which to me, as a small business guy, it's just like, It gets all over me.
Hmm.
Can't be running money losing events.
Nope. So how did you like being a wrestling promoter?
One and done, Daddy. It's funny because, you know, the internet has all these theories.
That you're
Conrad
gonna...
asked so-and-so. Conrad asked so-and-so. No, it didn't.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not disparaging anybody at all, but buddy, I don't have a last match plan. It was a one-off for Ric Flair. I wanted it to be a cool thing, and I feel like we checked the box. And I love me some DDP, but I didn't say DDP. Here's the business plan. Here's what we could pay you. Here's the real offer. Now, when I'm trying to convince him to slide in and do a diamond cutter, I casually say, "Hey, and by the way, you want to do one of these one day?" But that's as serious as it got. You know what I mean?
Sure.
But now the internet's like, "Oh, Conrad's approaching all these wrestlers." Then there was another old WCW guy who said, "Yeah, I was approached by StarCast. I haven't talked to you in 3 years, so I don't know that that's accurate."
Yeah.
But, you know, I get it's what everybody wants to talk about. It's the topical thing. So y'all have your fun. Whatever.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Crawl back in your hole.
I'm doing podcasts and mortgages, Tony.
Yeah.
And by the way, as folks are listening to this, I'm at Podcast Movement in Dallas. I know you're not able to do it because this year it's on a Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, well, Tony's busy that day.
Yeah. It's kind of like, there's David Crockett in the background. It's kind of like, there's David again. It's kind of like the Cauliflower Alley Club. Love to be able to do that.
Yeah.
Can't do it. They do Wednesdays. So.
Yeah, it's funny because they said, "Hey, man, we'd love to get Tony Schiavone." And I was like, "Hey, man, don't do it on Wednesdays."
Yeah, you know, my life centers on Wednesdays. It really does. So.
Yeah, like, come on, man. You know he's busy that day.
Yep.
But I think Easy E might be joining me, so we'll have some fun in Dallas this week.
Cool. Well, a lot of
fans are standing, man.
Yeah, fans are standing, but I have a feeling that the entrances and the balloon drop and the celebration and all that stuff is going to be almost as long as the match. That was a long time getting that match going.
Yeah, and there's some silliness afterwards.
Oh, I'm sure.
I guess now's a good time to go ahead and catch you up on the botched angle, if you will.
Oh,
Meltzer said just was a plague to clashes. After the main event, they built to the Sting appearance. The angle was built up on Monday that Sting would have to speak to J.J. Dillon about what he wanted, or WCW was going to break off negotiations with him. As it turned out, J.J. wasn't even a part of the planned angle. Sting was on the rafters while the NWO was celebrating a victory in the main event. With him was a buzzard. The idea was that they would ask Sting what he wanted, and the buzzard would fly from the rafters to the ring as the lights in the building were turned off, with a note that said, "Hogan's soul."
Okay.
Well, somewhere on the buzzard's trek, the note fell out of his clutches, and he wound up on the ropes with a group of NWO guys in the ring, trying to avoid outwardly laughing and crying at the screw up, with several minutes left to kill and nothing to do on a live television show. Actually, even if the angle had gone as planned, it would have been a stupid finish to the show. So this is the debut of the buzzard. I thought this whole time it was a vulture.
Yeah.
But Mr. Birdwatcher extraordinaire.
Yeah. Dave Meltzer. Let us know it was a buzzard. Thank you, Dave. Yeah. There you go.
He's trying to pick the bones of WCW here.
Again, don't involve children or animals. Wow, look at that double axe handle.
The best.
Yeah.
I miss the Macho Man. Can you imagine how much fun he would be having with wrestling these days?
Amazing, isn't it? He and Eddie Guerrero both.
Oh, yeah. Eddie would be having a great time.
Ooh. Look at the fans, buddy.
They're so on fire.
They are into this. This was the DDP era, wasn't it?
Oh, big time.
This is.
I mean, there's really not another way to say it. He's just over like Rover, man.
Yeah, man.
And it's this feud here in 1997 with Savage that made him. He still to this day gives all the credit to Savage.
Oh, sure he does. I've heard of the podcast. I've talked to him about it. Savage knew what he was doing, man.
How fun is it too when you think about, just take a look at this, the relationship he had with Randy Savage and then with Scott Hall. Neither one of them there anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Miss Elizabeth on the outside. Unfortunately, she's not there anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And Lex Luger, somehow, the most positive guy. What a great guy.
Yeah.
I want to recommend to everybody, we don't normally shield like this, but go out of your way to see the Lex Luger A&E biography they did. And Tony, you would love it. You know, Megan doesn't like wrestling, hates everything about it.
Yeah.
But I convinced her, I said, hey, this is on Lex. I think you should watch it. She was so glad she did. It's a great story. He approaches life and wrestling in such a different way than you would expect. Every opportunity to have a cop out, an excuse, some bullshit line. And man, Lex just owns his shortcomings and it's refreshing.
Mm-hmm.
And he's such a positive person. And I know that a lot of that is his spirituality, and some of our listeners don't believe whatever. I understand. But man, how could you not be inspired by the Lex Luger story? Go out of your way to check it out. Highly recommended.
I haven't seen it, but I need to.
You'll love it. And you'll come away loving Lex Luger, and for that matter, pro wrestling. Just the human, you know, I don't know to use words like this or phrases like this, but just the human condition. Like, there's no way to watch that and not feel some empathy and sympathy, and you just all the feels.
Okay.
Really good stuff.
Well, I'm going to check it out. That's a good recommendation.
And by the way, I did see your stupid ass Joe Pera Talks to You.
Mm-hmm.
Watched the very first one.
Mm-hmm.
Got all over me.
Mm-hmm.
My wife looked at me like I had flaming turds hanging out of my mouth. So I'll have to watch the rest when she's not around. Her and Lois have the same take.
Yeah, I know.
But buddy, it tickled me.
Yeah. Just really understated comedy. That's what it is.
I'm going to spoil the premise of the first episode.
Yeah.
He's trying to explain to you the difference in rock formations in his area.
That's right.
As riveting as it sounds.
Right.
And someone rings the doorbell
Uh-huh.
and says they're there to see his house for the open house.
Right.
He looks in the yard and realizes someone has now put an open house sign in his front yard. It's not him. He's not selling his house.
Right.
But he doesn't want to let these people down.
Mm-hmm.
So he lets these strangers take a look at his house. And then the strangers make an offer. And now he feels as if, well, fuck, I got to sell it to him because I don't want to let him down. His house was never for sale. And at that moment, I texted Tony Schiavone, this is one of the funniest things you've ever recommended. Thank you very much.
Those people who came to visit his house.
Yes.
They're big parts of the entire show. And actually, the husband is one of his producing partners. So in real life, have you ever seen his stand up about the Buffalo Bills?
No.
You need to Google that or go to YouTube.
Okay.
And watch Joe Pera because he's a stand up comedian.
Okay.
About the Buffalo Bills. Just if you're a football fan, you need to. That's worth your time.
Can't wait.
Yeah. Yeah, and of course that show has not been renewed, so that broke my heart. But there's always the whole season, or I guess 2 seasons, I think. Maybe 3 seasons, whatever. Anyway, can't recommend it enough. And of course, it is on HBO Max as part of, believe it or not, the Cartoon Network. So,
HBO Max, maybe my favorite streaming app. Legit.
Oh, no question. Without question.
I saw there's a whole bunch of changes coming too. I'm nervous about that.
I haven't seen that. So,
Well, they're saying like they're moving away from this scripted or that scripted, or I don't know all the details. I just know that.
Well, that's part of Discovery. You know, they like the realities.
Yes.
Yeah. Which I can say, which I can safely say I've never watched one reality show in my life. Now, documentaries, love them.
I can't get enough of those. By the way, I told you off air, I should tell our listeners now since we're just recommending random stuff. Over on Netflix, buddy, they got a barn burner on Untold, the Manti Te'o story. It's called The Girlfriend Who Didn't Exist. Holy cow, what a story. My wife was not familiar with that, wasn't keeping up with sports in that era.
Right.
Which I knew because Alabama stomped a mud hole in Notre Dame and walked it dry.
Yeah, when the dog should have been in that game.
So I just had from my purview, what I believed, and I didn't have all the information. Now with all the information, woo, what a story. You'd love it. And I know you'll check it out, but I just wanted to shout it out to our listeners. By the way, I'm happy to tell you that I no longer have goose problems at the lake. I've had 3 successful visits to the boathouse. No goose in sight.
That, you know why?
He's moved on.
He's moved on. He has allowed you to have the lake house.
That was nice of him. Shout out to the goose out there. Really appreciate all they've done for us.
Also, shout out to our good friend, longtime low-key big hog Rajiv, who sent me that sign from the London Underground, which is a legit sign. It's not a joke.
It is. Yes, it is. More fucking balloons, Tony.
Yeah.
More fucking balloons. I would be worried if I was the animal handler. I mean, you reckon vultures have spent a lot of time around balloons? Maybe a foreign concept to them.
That could be.
I mean, I'm sure when he's just flying through Sandy Springs, Georgia, he's not fucking. Oh, look at there. So we see the flyers here that are coming down from the ceiling. The first year NWO 2 Suite.
Don't go away.
So even though that was the main event, they're teasing, don't go away. There's about 8 minutes left in the program.
Wow.
And you're even saying, we're past the 10 o'clock hour, but stay with us.
NWO continues its celebration. As a matter of fact, even though the members have left the ring, they apparently are on their way back here, and they are now being led by Eric Bischoff. So the celebration, the birthday they talked about, even though it looked as if WCW was getting the upper hand earlier in this telecast, they have a lot to be happy about right now. This party's not over.
They're going to come back to the ring now.
At a birthday party.
They were just in the ring. Now they're headed back to the ring, this time with Eric Bischoff, who actually looks pretty cool here with his sunglasses indoors at night. That's normally a douche move, but somehow Eric's pulling it off.
Yeah, he's got that.
Got the 5 o'clock shadow coming in.
Yeah, he does look cool, doesn't he? Those white teeth, just a glowing.
Again, here in the Minnesota, Jordan, Nashville.
So they're killing time here, of course. They're hoping this bird flies down with a note.
Buzzard.
Yeah. What did I say?
Bird.
Well, it is, right?
Yeah, it's a bird.
Not what
but I just wanted to say buzzard because I like that term, buzzard.
Do you think it was a buzzard or a vulture?
Aren't they the same thing?
I don't know.
I think they are, kind of. I think isn't. Oh, he's looking
the
up.
Turkey vulture, also known in some North American regions as the turkey buzzard. So I'll be damned.
Yep.
All right.
Yep.
So it says in North America, a vulture is a vulture, a buzzard is a vulture, and a hawk is a hawk.
Okay.
In the rest of the world, a vulture is a vulture, a buzzard is a hawk, and a hawk is sometimes a buzzard, although they're fuck this. Fuck all this. Can you imagine if you were an ESL motherfucker trying to figure out what to call this shit? Well, it's this sometimes, but most of the time that, and sometimes not. Fuck all that.
How about the dumbass that wrote that?
In North America, a vulture is a vulture, a buzzard is a vulture, and a hawk is a hawk. By the way, I really wish the Legion of Doom were here, so a hawk is a hawk. Look it up, Schiavone.
Mr. Hall, you are without a doubt one of the greatest athletes ever to step in to this sport. And I do want to say on our birthday, our anniversary, it is an honor just to know you.
Oh, shucks. I think you're great too.
Mr. Nash, what I've learned from you, you couldn't put in a volume of encyclopedias. I want to thank you on our anniversary.
I just want to say it's been sweet for the last year to be shagging in the WCW rotten, baby.
But now we've got a little business we have to take care of. Because in our 1-year anniversary, our birthday party, we didn't get the surprise we wanted. We didn't get what we deserve, which is our own show. Because if it wasn't for the NWO and moi, none of you people would be here tonight.
Would be.
Hollywood Hogan sends his love, but he also sends a message.
Jesus.
He needs bigger limos and newer Learjets. Do you hear me, Mr. Ted Turner? It is time for you to pay up.
Oh, God.
Here we go. Buzzard time. I'm sorry. Is that a hawk or is that a turkey vulture?
It's a vulture.
It depends
Or
on where we
buzzard.
are. Okay.
Since we're in North America,
Okay.
I think we can use those terms interchangeably.
But we're in Nashville, the South, where they call it a buzzard.
That's true.
Because look, it could really actually be a hawk up there. Because I think it's easier to train a hawk than it is a buzzard.
How long is this going to happen before something happens? This is really long.
I can hear the guys in the truck saying, cue the buzzard.
So we see Sting now.
Fucking trained buzzard. That buzzard is thinking, what the fuck?
When a man's heart is full of deceit, it burns up, dies, and a dark shadow falls over his soul. From the ashes of a once great man has risen a curse, a wrong that must be righted. We look to the skies for a vindicator, someone to strike fear into the black hearts of the same man who created him. The battle between good and evil has begun. Against an army of shadows comes a dark warrior, the purveyor of good, with a voice of silence and a mission of justice. This is
Oh, man. Some dumbass
Sting's still at the top of the rafters with the bird.
Yeah.
We're 2.5 minutes from the end of the show. All right, it's all black.
Some dumbass said with a laser pointer, said, look, my laser pointer's on the bird. That's a buzzard. Isn't it a hawk? Are we in North America? Oh, now the bird's flying in the darkness.
We have just complete blackness here on the program. We have no idea what we're waiting on, what's going on. We hear music. We don't see a doggone thing. Literally seeing nothing.
When Bischoff had the microphone and he said to Kevin Nash, you have taught me so much. I wanted to say, how to kill a promotion.
All right.
Okay. Where's the fucking bird?
He's on the top rope. That's exactly where the guy placed him. And he's just looking at the top turnbuckle. This music's playing.
Mm-hmm.
The NWO, who have taken down an entire promotion, are scared shitless by this fucking bird. It's not like it's a goose.
It's a fucking goose. All of them would have run.
Bischoff is looking all over,
Mhm.
see if he can see, does he have anything attached, any message? And of course, they realize it's not there. Scott Hall's looking around on the ground trying to find something.
Yeah, here's
Nobody knows
here.
what the fuck to do.
Scott Hall picked up a piece of paper. He
And
tore
worked
it. Yeah, he worked it, and he said, "Here, look." He dropped it. See, Scott Hall, man, is doing a great job. Fucking buzzer going to pick your bones, buddy, but he ain't going to.
Kevin Nash threatening to hit the bird with the belt. No birds were harmed during the filming of this segment.
There's the note that Scott Hall tore up.
They're telling the bird, get out of here, bird.
Okay, track it. See what the dumbass announcers are saying here.
We are tracking it, Tony.
We are?
That noise is what is happening.
Okay, there's no talk.
No. You guys are as dumbfounded as the guys in the ring.
God.
And that's it. That's how the last Clash of the Champions goes off the air.
With a fucking bird.
Yes. Now, here's the real question that everybody's going to want to know, and they're going to blow us up on social, so I'm going to ask it now. I know you don't know the answer, but I know if I don't ask, I'm going to get burnt online. So here we go. You ready?
All right. Yes.
Who was the voice of the little kid? Whose little kid is that?
That's got to be Eric's son, isn't it?
There's no way. Do you think?
That's the first thing I thought of, that it was Garrett.
I got to ask.
Okay.
Overall, Tony, that's it, baby. That's the last Clash of the Champions. What'd you think? Thumbs up, thumbs down, thumbs in the middle.
Thumbs down.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry.
Thumbs in the middle.
Thumbs in the middle because Alex Wright and the Ultimo Dragon, that was a good match.
Eddie and Jericho were good.
Jericho's a good match. The Luchadors, for the short amount of time they had, did what Luchadors do.
They were working hard.
Mm-hmm.
There's some good stuff in there.
That's some good stuff. But the end of this thing really took a bad taste in your mouth.
Well, boys and girls, that'll do it. I can't believe this is real, but we've reached the end of another What Happened When with Tony Schiavone. And boy, do we have some fun stuff planned for you. Real quick, Tony, I want to just run through what the next handful of topics might include here on the program. We got World Championship Wrestling from August 29th, 1987, where we see Tully versus Nikita.
Wow.
Pick it up a couple of weeks later in September to September 12th, 1987. We'll see Barry versus Arn. We're going to watch in mid-September Fall Brawl 95, which is the last Fall Brawl before the NWO. And then we'll round out the month of September with some more really fantastic stuff from the Jim Crockett Promotions era from September of 87. It'll be Tully and Arn versus the Rock and Roll Express. Fantastic. And then the Midnights versus Nikita and Barry. So lots of fun stuff coming. And then, well, some not so great stuff. Halloween Havoc 1999, the first pay-per-view with Vince Russo, I believe, is what we'll do in October. And we're even going to think about doing WWF World Tour 1990, which I think is a VHS release that you actually helped put together. So,
and I also think I was there for those matches. As a matter of fact, I think if I'm right, Lord Alfred and I are on the call.
Can't wait.
Matches. Yeah.
Going to be a lot of fun. Lots of fun stuff coming your way. And of course, we're gearing up because in real life, you and I are getting ready to go do our thing in Chicago, not just for All Out, not just for Rampage, not just for Dynamite, but also low key Big Hog weekend, Top Guy weekend, lots of fun stuff planned coming your way. And of course, you get all these shows early and ad free over at adfreeshows.com. But what you really need to know is that unfortunately, all good things must come to an end, including this show, Tony. It looks like it's about that time.
Ladies and gentlemen, up in the rafters, take a look. It's Dave Silva, and on his hand is a goose. That's not just a regular goose. That's a Canadian goose. And that is not a hawk, and that is not a turkey buzzard. That is a fucking Canadian goose. And oh my God, the walkway breaks, and Dave Silva is plunging down, straight down. Oh, that's okay. He lands on the set of Dinner in a Movie, and he lands in the salsa. Ha! Who would have known? We are desperately out of time. See you next week on What Happened When we come to you Wednesdays on Cumulus, but Mondays exclusively and ad-free on
Patreon, patreon.com/WHW Monday. And of course, adfreeshows.com. Hey, Tony, before I go, I forgot to tell you, did you see Corey Ryan Forrester's social media this week?
No, thank God.
Go check it out. He had a video go viral where he was running through the cost of foods these days, and he had funny names for what the foods were.
Yep.
When he hit one, I think it was the third one, I immediately stopped watching and texted him, "This is one of the greatest things I've ever seen." He pulled a banana out of the refrigerator and called it a monkey popsicle. We'll see you next week right here on What Happened When.